Hi everybody, welcome to another update on the gold forecast, the index, the holy grail to predicting gold prices. In my last video, I said that gold wouldn't be doing anything. Let's see what has happened since then. So we were at 1720 and today we're at 1770. So that's basically nothing. It's up 2%. Basically hasn't done anything. So let's see where we stand now. So this is the gold forecast index using leading indicators to predict the gold price. And it has predicted it very well. Now the latest data point, we see a small uptick. So I'm becoming less bearish, but it's still below the zero line. So I'm not buying yet. I want to see this go above the zero line before I start buying, because historically you should be buying gold when the red line goes above zero, and we have not seen that yet. Okay, so I'm preparing for it, but it's not time yet. So instead you can buy something else like bonds or stay in cash. Taylor rule rate has gone down a bit. So the inflation is getting less pronounced, but it's still at a very high level. Of course, these are quarterly numbers. We don't know the Q4 numbers yet. Misery index has gone down. We had seen some good employment numbers, and inflation has come down a bit. So this is pointing down a bit. So gold will be a bit weaker, but it's still at a very high level. Real output, we will see numbers on that very soon, but yeah, it's positive. It's above zero, so gold should be at least hang on to its current level. Chile and Peru. Let's see the production here. This is Chile, and production is a bit down. For Peru, we see production rising, so that's not good for the silver and byproducts of that. So yeah, production is actually rising. GLD still pointing down. COMEX pointing down. That's all not bullish. LBMA levels also pointing down, not bullish. Gold demand numbers are coming out this week, so I don't have new data on that yet. India was stable. And silver imports are up, so let's see what the new numbers are. But this looks very good for silver. SLV stable. Shanghai silver demand a bit up. Central banks are buying gold, as you can see here. A lot of green for the third quarter. So at least someone is buying gold, but not on the US Mint Eagle sales. So retail is not buying gold. It has gone down to almost zero. Also, silver is not doing that well at the US Mint. Premiums are still very high, so there is upside. Junk silver premiums have come down a bit, but still elevated historically. So there is still upside in silver. Shanghai gold premiums. Silver premiums in Shanghai are at 0, so that's not good. PSLV premiums were actually pretty negative, so that's also not good. So it's not all positive for the gold and silver market yet. It's still negative. Look at this. Nobody is buying PSLV. Okay, so there's no demand for physical silver. Manage money numbers. Yeah, we had some short covering. So the shorts have come down, but that means that the shorts could come back in, of course. So this could come down again when shorts increase. But this was a short squeeze. It's not a trend yet. It's just a short squeeze. But I'm getting a bit more bullish because the gold forecast index is pointing back up a bit. Lease rates are not that good for gold. You want to see this go up, and it's going down. Silver, the same. This is going down instead of up. So lease rates are not that positive. Tips still negative, but pointing upwards. Real yields in a downtrend, so that's not good for gold. Okay, so the only thing that's positive is the seasonality. Typically, there will be a New Year's rally in gold and silver. So that's the only thing that's bullish right now. There could be a year-end rally. Sentiment for gold miners has improved. You can see that it's pointing up again. It's not at the top yet, so there could be some more bullish momentum. But yeah. Not bad. Okay, so I wanted to take a look at the oil forecaster index page today because I have added some interesting charts on this. So first of all, the oil forecast is still in negative territory, and it has predicted a fall in oil. So yeah, it's not looking that good for oil stocks. We need to see this index go back up. And I think there is a chance that it will go up because the rig count is very weak. It's not rising anymore. So this page is very interesting because you have all of these pages here. You can click on some of them, and this gives you very nice data. For example, this is the European storage net withdrawal, and you can see that it has spiked up, but it's come down again. So watch this to forecast the European gas price. This is a very nice one and various rig counts, and that gives you a daily update on the rig count. Oh, look at this. The latest rig count has dropped to a new low of 844. Very bullish for oil. This is actually super bullish. So rig counts have struggled at this high level and now it's dropping. So that means that production will probably drop as well, which will push up oil prices. So Very nice charts here. The EIA data is also embedded on this page. You can see net production, see weekly oil production. Stocks are going lower. That means that there is more demand than supply. Very good. Biden is still drawing the SPR, but it's starting to flatten out now. So at some point he needs to stop drawing the SPR. Natural gas production still going up. So we had record natural gas production, which is of course bad for the natural gas price. But let's see. I think this could start topping out at some point. This is a shale gas boom, and now we should be topping out. Liquids production is up. That's for LNG. And this is product supplied, which gives us an indicator on the GDP, which is not that good. Canada, I look at this to check if there is enough imports from Canada, which is important for the ICO gas price. So I want to see this go up, which is good for Canadian producers. So nice charts. Gas consumption needs to go up. It's in an uptrend. That's good. You can even see the correlations. Today we are at 75 oil, so we should be at 6 gas. And the latest data from Nenner says that we're probably bottoming out here in natural gas. Over to the money supply. Money supply has been falling, so that's bad for gold and stocks. But of course, we already have huge increase in money supply, so this is just a tiny bit of a decline. There's still a lot of money in the system waiting to get in the economy. This is just a tiny QT. We had a massive QE here. So watch this. It will keep on declining until the Fed pivots. Let's look at the credit spreads. Lately, the credit spreads have improved. So this is correlated to GDP. And you can see that we have a bottom here and it's going up. So this could be the start of a bull run if this continues to go up. So this is a good sign. Deficits, we got the deficit numbers. Let's see. So on the good side, we have a massive increase again in the trade deficit. And on services, it was better. A good surplus, but on the good side, we have an increased deficit. Okay, this trend here is still pointing up to a lower deficit, but there's a counter trend now with the balance of trade that's actually going down. So the correlation is widening now. There's a gap here. Not sure which one is winning, but we should look at the red line. That's the trade balance in goods and services, which is widening. So deficits are up. Export prices are down, big. So this is very deflationary. Prices are actually down. That's not good for inflation because we want inflation to be high if you want to be in gold. This is actually negative for gold. Here as well, prices. Okay, prices here are stable. That's good. This is for air freights, and this is for commodities. So here the chart is looking better. Imports and exports, they're still in an uptrend in inflation, and more imports than exports, so that's a deficit. But the gap is closing a bit. So the US is actually not doing that bad. But yeah, overall deficits are widening again, and that will be good for gold and bad for the dollar. We have seen the dollar fall a bit. Over to capacity utilization, it was down, so that's not good for inflation. Yeah, inflation could be topping out, so at some point we will see a pivot as inflation comes down, but that is not good for gold. We want to see high inflation if you are in gold. Here as well, look at this. The 2-year is now coming down, so we are going to see a pivot very soon from the Fed. They cannot hike rates above this blue line. So it's probably going to be a 50 basis point increase from 3.8 to 4.3. And that will be it. That's the maximum that they can hike rates. So a pivot is probably coming, which could be positive for gold. Yeah, then increased outlook for the S&P. Very interesting. So it was here just a tiny bit of upside, and now there is more upside. So we could see a 10% increase for next year. So I stay bullish the stock market. Also base metals, very low capex. So I think it's a good time to be in base metals based on the capex to assets ratio. That's also confirmed here. Base metals rebound is coming. Credit impulse is rising. Here as well, credit impulse is rising. And here as well, we have the Hang Seng bottoming out. Hang Seng stocks have been rising as well. China is in an uptrend. Sprott had a holding update. He bought Sigma Lithium, a lot of battery companies, and sold the opposite, which is platinum, and sold some of the gold, silver companies. Just interesting to know. Sigma Lithium also had very good news last week. So we stay in this trade in lithium. Especially Sprott is now also joining the party. US dollar is still overvalued. It has come down a bit, but there is more downside to come in the US dollar, I think. It is not very probable that the US dollar will stay this high. And this should benefit commodities. This I have talked about. Rig counts are dropping. So I think that this will be very positive for oil. Also, the drilled and uncompleted wells have stopped dropping, so there is no oil inventory anymore, no easy oil wells to drill out. So yeah, oil supply will be constrained going forward, and we are betting on oil. And LNG. LNG is probably the most important commodity in the coming 2 years. Qatar has secured some of the supply to Germany, but still more to come. So LNG is the place to be. A lot of LNG producers will make a lot of money. And we bet on this via US gas, of course. LNG prices are soaring, around $30 per MMBTU. And EU gas is also soaring with that. Some more info on the pipeline expansions in Canada. So this should help the ICO price in Canada as more pipelines come online. And as I said, we check the imports from Canada to make sure that enough gas is being imported to USA. So you can read this. A lot of pipeline projects are coming for next year. So NGTL, that's actually the Alberta pipeline operator. Pipeline operator is TC Energy. And as you can see here, there's a project that will come online in the fourth quarter of this year. So that should be already done right now. And in the first quarter of next year will be the next facility that is up and running. So that's the 2021 expansion program. Then we have the next program. That's for the 2022 system expansion. And this is going to come online in the fourth quarter of this year and second quarter of next year. So a lot of catalysts coming. Then we have this one. We have received further approvals, and this is going to come online in the fourth quarter and throughout 2023. So next year will be a great year for new pipelines. So capacity will keep on rising, which will make sure that gas prices in Canada won't drop back to zero. So ICO and US gas will be more aligned for next year. So hopefully that will help the ICO price. And the last chart, we have an update on Nenner's gas chart. There was some weakness here. You can see that the bottom is not really in yet, so up and down. And today gas prices are back here. But very soon, starting in January, we should see gas rise back to this level here, probably like this. And this will start rising until May, April, May. So expect gas prices to bottom out this month and start rising next year. That's what we are betting on right now. Gold is a little bit more positive, but I'm still not convinced that this will shoot higher. It will probably stay flat for another month. So we stay in the oil and gas trades, and that was the update. I'll see you in the next video.